A few weeks ago on the show, I asked the question, when is a Chianti not a Chianti? And the answer, when it's a Super Tuscan. Okay, so what are the characteristics of a really good Chianti? Well, they're coming right up. Hi guys, welcome to yet another edition of Big on Wine, the channel which, as you probably know by now, brings you, yes, news and clues and reviews. In fact, it tries to keep you up to speed about just about everything that's happening in the world of wine. So here we are again, debating what is a Super Tuscan and what is a Chianti. And my wine of the week for you is this one here. And it goes under the name of Borgo, Salcetino, Lucarello, Riserva, and the vintage is 2013. So this wine is well over 6 years old by now. Very interesting little number. Comes in for a price of just under €23 a bottle where I am. So perhaps not for everyday drinking. All right, let's bring you the backstory to this particular wine. It's produced by an estate called Borgo Salcetino, and they are in the Toscana or Tuscany area of Italy. In fact, they're based in the village of Radda in Chianti, and that's about 50 kilometers or 1 hour's drive south of Florence, Firenze, through the beautiful Tuscan hills. So Radda in Chianti is the origin of this particular wine. Now this wine is officially DOCG Chianti Classico, and it's made from a blend of the Sangiovese and Canaiolo grapes. 13.5% alcohol and just 2 grams per litre of residual sugar. Okay, so you're probably thinking, this is Chianti, this is Chianti Classico. What are the requirements for Chianti Classico? Well, Chianti Classico must follow certain rules. A minimum of 12% alcohol, a minimum of 7 months aging in oak barrels, and for Riserva, as this one here is, 24 months of aging in oak barrels and at least 3 months in the bottle as well, plus slightly more alcohol, 12.5% is the minimum requirement. All right, now Chianti as a wine area was first defined over 300 years ago, And in fact, the rules for the actual production of Chianti, in other words, the grapes, grape varieties and the quantities of each grape which are permitted in Chianti have changed very much over the years. But shall we say that 80% plus of the grapes in Chianti must be Sangiovese. The support grapes do vary. In fact, at certain periods of time, white grapes were popular as the support grape for Chianti. But nowadays, Cabernet Sauvignon is perhaps the most commonly used. All right, that's the backstory. It's complicated. And partly because of the complicated rules, that gave birth to the Super Tuscans that we dealt with a few weeks ago. But let's concentrate on this one. This is Chianti Classico Riserva from Borgo Salcetino. Let's take a look at the wine in the glass. And as we can see, the wine has a beautiful, beautiful ruby red colour. But due to the age of the grape and the aging in oak barrel, it does have slightly, occasionally, flashes of something different. So slight touch of brown around the edge of the glass, even at times, almost like a burnt orange colour comes through. So ruby red with flashes of brown, tobacco and burnt orange in the mix. Very attractive, of course, in the glass. All right, let's turn our attention now to the aroma of a Chianti Classico Riserva and try it in the nose. Here we go. Now, in the nose, the immediate aromas which are apparent are, I would say, an aroma of dark fruit, dark mature fruit indeed, and a very pronounced earthiness to the aroma of the wine. So dark, mature fruit, earthiness, touch of spice, and naturally this has been at least 24 months in oak, so the oak is quite clearly present as well. Dark, earthy, oaky, mature fruit here. All right, let's try this now in the mouth and see how we get on. Here we go. Now the wine is medium-bodied. In terms of tannins, I would say it hasn't got over-powerful tannins, but certainly the tannins are quite discernible, quite clearly present there. So medium-bodied, medium to large tannins, I would say. Slight puckering of the lips, slight dryness in the palate caused by those tannins. In terms of the flavours on offer there, well, I think the predominant flavour is of sour cherry, but there are other darkish forest fruits available to us as well in this. I think we're looking at cranberry. There's a certain sourness to this wine, so sour cherry, cranberry, little bit of blackberry, maybe even a little hint of lingonberry in the mix here as well. So a certain sourness is the predominant characteristic of this wine. But in the background, more in the finish, I would say we're getting something like figs or dates, so darker, drier fruit, sweeter fruits, and naturally a touch of leather or oakiness in the taste selection as well. Now this is quite a strong and powerful wine. This is the kind of wine I think which could very easily be decanted, given some air, about an hour or so before serving. The serving temperature, I think, is also important for a wine like this. Certainly clearly below room temperature, so I would say around about the 15 or 16 degree mark is the ideal serving temperature for a wine like this. So put it in the fridge for an hour or so and then open it up and let it stand before you serve it at the table. All right, the finish on the wine, well, a hint of leather and oak. Quite a long finish. Maybe a touch of pepper in the finish as well of this wine. All right, now, in terms of food, what are we going to be pairing our Chianti Classico Riserva with? Well, I would say the answer is relatively simple. In fact, anything flavourful and Italian. Pasta, pizza, meat dishes, right across the board. But remember the serving temperature, slightly below room temperature, 15, 16 degrees. This would go very, very nicely with, you know, a Florentine steak or a pork cutlet. Why not ossobuco as well, would also fit very, very nicely with a wine of this type, to say nothing of your standard spaghetti bolognese and stuff like that. Anything flavourful and Italian, and particularly meat dishes. All right, let's bring you the heads up on this one. This is Borgo Salcetino Lucarello Riserva 2013, a Chianti Riserva with 24 months of oak aging. It comes from the very, very heart of the Chianti wine region. It's a powerful wine. It's medium-bodied. It's bursting with sour cherry and cranberry. It's classic stuff. I'm going to give this wine 4 stars out of 5. Okay folks, many thanks for tuning in and checking out this week's video. And of course this was a little introduction to a Chianti Classico Riserva. In other words, a Chianti from the very heartlands of the Chianti appellation, and also displaying 24 months at least in oak barrel. Lovely stuff indeed. Okay, if you've enjoyed what you've seen and heard, then please do feel free to give us a big thumbs up. Yep, give us a like. We do enjoy receiving those. Drop a comment down below if you feel like it. Share the video around to your heart's content. Follow me on my other social media platforms. And of course, why not consider subscribing if you haven't done so already? And you can do that by hitting that big red button, which will appear somewhere over there beyond my right shoulder. And while you're about it, why not ring the bell? Yep, hit that bell icon and you'll be informed as soon as every new video is uploaded. And naturally, I'll be back again next week with another great wine of the week for you. But until we meet again, this is Tony Melville signing off and saying, hey, take care out there. Be good to each other. Enjoy your wines. And cheers.